Hey guys, Great Planet Green Zen, and thank you for coming to this channel. Now, I have a special treat for you guys today. But if you guys have never been to this channel, what I'd love to do is just inspire the world in 5 main areas of life. And those are mentally, physically, spiritually, financially, and socially. Because I truly believe that if we all had a holistic yin-yang balance of each one of those areas in life, we'd be able to live in a world of peace, have health and wealth together, and abolish hunger, famine, slavery, war, and just be able to live in as one human unit. So if you guys believe in similar messages, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Leave a comment below, let me know what you thought, and then share this out with people in your community and tribe who needs to hear these messages. So again, I told you I had a special guest for you guys today. Dr. Jamil is with me, and how are you doing today?
I'm doing very well, Greg. Thank you for having me, man.
No
problem.
Appreciate it. Thank you. This guy's amazing, guys. I'll have his links later so you guys can connect with him, but again, you guys just got to watch his content and go to his website. You guys will be blown away. But yeah, so for people who don't know who you are, can you tell us a little bit about yourself? How did you get started? How did you choose the path you're on today? And just let's go from there.
Absolutely. So as Greg said, my name is Jamil Sayagh. I'm a transformation coach and naturopathic physician. And really, for the last 14 years, it's been my greatest passion, mission, and purpose to help people accomplish their goals, break through their self-perceived limitations, and create an extraordinary life without regret. And for me, my story really started when I was 14 years old. I was a track athlete, I was sick all the time, and I was wondering why. And after working with thousands of patients now, I've looked back in my life and I see I had the worst diet of anybody I've ever seen. And so I put 2 and 2 together. I was like, all right, 2004, YouTube just came out. I start watching the videos, reading the books on nutrition to start with, turned my health around, started helping other people turn their health around. But then I started wondering, what are the other areas of a really fulfilling life, an extraordinary life? And I thought about, all right, relationships. I thought about business and finances. Then I thought about the mindset, the motivation, the inspiration. And for 14 years now, I've put well over 35,000 hours to devour everything I possibly could, but not just learn it, but implement it, take action. And with the clients that I've had, it's been a true blessing. And the experiences that I've had have really prepared me for what's ahead, and I can't wait to keep growing, keep learning, and keep serving.
Awesome, thank you. And for people who don't know what a naturopathic doctor is, can you explain a little bit? So what does that actually mean for people who have no idea, they've never even heard of that? What is a naturopathic?
Yeah, absolutely. So I want you to think of it like this. The conventional doctor that most people hear about is a medical doctor, right? And the designation would be MD. And then there's something called an osteopathic doctor, which is a DO. Some people haven't heard of it, but basically they can do the same as an MD. Then there's a naturopathic doctor, which, depending on the state you're in, is either an ND or is an NMD. So naturopathic medical doctor or naturopathic doctor. Essentially, 4-year medical program. We take all the same classes, learn all the same things. We're able to prescribe medications. But we also learn the nutrition, the acupuncture, the chiropractic. You're getting this full, holistic view of what the person's picture is. So instead of you coming in and your blood pressure's high, and I just give you a pill, I'm going to give you the pill if I need to, because we're trying to be safe here first and foremost, but I'm also going to figure out, why is the blood pressure high? Why is your blood sugar high? What's really going on? Look at the diet, look at the lifestyle, look at what's actually the root cause of what's going on, get to the bottom of it to give you that best quality of life as possible, so you're not dependent on, let's say, the pharmaceuticals and the medications for the rest of your life. Because there are people out there, the average person 55 years and up is on 2 medications. As they get older, maybe 5. And in the United States today, we have the highest cost of healthcare. We spend the most, but I believe we're 37th in life expectancy. And the average male in the US lives to about 78, last I checked. But if you look at the top 5 countries, they're about 93, 94. You're nearing almost 20 years of extra life. And, you know, the average person in our environment, in our, what's the word I'm looking for? Population, let's say, you know, once they hit 60, 70, not only do they have many, many conditions, but the mind's starting to go, physically they're not where they want to be, and it doesn't have to be like that. Yeah. So I feel like as a naturopathic physician, coupled with the coaching aspect of it, showing people there is a way to really bring their best self out and have the health, the energy, the vitality that they want to bring. So that's when I have my doctor hat on, that's what I throw in.
That's awesome. And that just reminds me of, you know, I watch a lot of documentaries, and it's just crazy if you guys watch those where like our food comes from, and a lot of the processed foods and just the chemicals that are pumped in our food. A lot of the foreign countries, they ban things that we allow in our food in America because they're considered poisons, and it just feels like, you know, we see diabetes and cancers that's shooting through the roof. A lot of people are don't think about that. It's like a lot of the foods that, I mean, you know, I'm no doctor, so I can't give you guys the advice, but just when you look at, you know, statistics and history, kids back in like the 30s and 40s didn't really have kid diabetes, they were not overweight, but look at our population with instant food and McDonald's, well, chicken nuggets and all that stuff. You know, like, you got to be conscious of your health, and that helps you just vitalize and restore your ability to be able to function and have energy. And just because if you guys want to live long and be able to serve other people, you got to have a healthy body as well. So
yeah, half the clients I work with, let's say the entrepreneurs, the business people, they're sitting there thinking it's all about what I'm producing. It's all about just my work, without realizing that they're sleeping 4 hours a night, they're eating crappy food, they're dehydrated, and then they don't think that's going to play a part in their performance. And when I get them sleeping 8 hours a night, fully hydrated, optimal nutrition, they have more energy, they're thinking clearer, brain fog goes away, and they start serving and getting better results. And they don't even think, wow, I didn't know this was that important. Like, what you're putting in, think of your body like a car. What kind of fuel are you putting in? If you're putting like maple syrup into your car, you're not going to really get a great running engine. And it's that kind of thing.
okay, and then next question I have for you is, what made you choose the path that you're on today? Like, something from your childhood or a couple years ago sparked you to kind of go on this path and want to help people get a healthier lifestyle?
Well, so I mentioned, you know, the track experience for me. That's what really started it in the beginning, because I did it, you know, I was sick all the time and I wanted to get better. And then I started noticing, all right, I'm doing well now, but this seems to just scratch the surface. It seems like there's so much more that, you know, could be added. So we went into the relationships and all the other stuff, and friends and family and people that I didn't know started reaching out to me saying, hey, I heard you can help me with this. And so we started talking. That was the start of my coaching. And fast forward to when I was 19 and my father had a brain aneurysm. And for anyone who doesn't know what that is, I want you to imagine one of the blood vessels in your brain. And now imagine this tube, let's say, starts ballooning out, and then if you're really unlucky, it pops. So now you have, you know, this life-threatening situation that the neurosurgeon put him at a 99% chance of dying. And he survived, and not only did he survive, but over the next 3 years, we helped him make almost a full recovery. And in those 3 years, it was the most life-changing experience of my life. It was heaven, it was hell, it was my highs and my lows. And I got tested and pushed in every way you can imagine. And after 3 years, my dad passed away. And I had a whole new perspective on life after that. And after that happened, you know, the way I coached people, the way I interacted with people, everything shifted. They started getting dramatically better results, and life just took off from there.
Oh, well, thanks for sharing that.
Thank you, brother.
In your particular field of business, do you offer any products or services that people can buy or connect with you with, as far as if they want to either read a book, or if you have some examples of how to live a healthier lifestyle? Do you have anything that people can connect with?
So when it comes to healthier, when it comes to, let's say, food, nutrition, stuff like that, I have some videos on my Instagram at Dr Jamil Sayegh, DR, and then the name it'll be in the links.
Yeah, I'll have it.
And then on my Facebook page at Jamil Sayegh Coaching. My ebook is called 20 Steps to Your Next Breakthrough. It's more in alignment with the coaching side of it, getting people to get to their goals. And I designed it to be actionable, quick, easy to read. It's only about 76, 78 pages. Each chapter is 1 to 3 pages. You can read it in 5 minutes, each, like one a day. You know, I've had people finish the whole book in an hour, so no excuse not to read it. And in terms of services, just my coaching services are the primary thing I offer. And so typically working with people to break through and get to where they want to be in their health, their relationships, their business, and their mindset.
Awesome, great. So guys, as I always tell you, I have hundreds of videos on my channel where I speak to you guys about unplugging from the matrix, not letting the naysayers keep you down from accomplishing your goals and dreams. So now you have a physical person here that you can connect with that can help you get to where you need to be. So there's no excuses, guys. So next question I have for you, Dr. Jamil, I can say Mr. Jamil, Dr. Jamil. What do you think about other people's opinions when it comes to, let's say someone is trying to pursue their goals and greatness, and whether it's their family or friends, a lot of times there's a lot of negativity that gets people to what I like to call as the crab in a bucket analogy, to where if you guys never heard that, if you get a bucket of crabs and you see one tries to climb out, another crab will grab it and pull it back down so it can keep it complacent with all the other crabs. What is your thoughts on other people's opinions when it comes to someone pursuing their dreams and they are negative towards them to try to keep them to come back to that, you know, bucket full of crabs, in the sense?
No, I hear you. And I definitely experienced a lot of that in my life, people really trying to bring me down. And I wouldn't say there's an all or nothing type of approach. I remember in medical school, one of our professors always said, in medicine, there's no always or never. It's always a gray area. In a similar way, I would look at where is the opinion coming from? Like, what's the intention behind the opinion? I've had in my own life and people that I've coached, people that put you down, but in their mind, they think they're doing you a favor. They're putting you down because they love you, and they really, for whatever reason, don't think you're going to succeed at whatever you're doing. So from their perspective, they're like, it's my obligation to tell you this because I care about you that much. So if they're doing that to me, but I've got this mindset of anyone who's trying to put me down, just cut them out of my life, they're a bad person. That's not true. So for me, it's more, where's the advice coming from? And then what's my level of self-awareness at, to the point where I know what I want to do, I know why I want to do it, I know why it's important to me and why it has to be done. From that place, if someone comes into my life and gives me their opinion, I'm respectful, I'll hear it, and I'll see, is it going to serve me? Is it going to work? Do they not have the full story? All the people that were putting me down didn't know what my plans were. They didn't know why I was doing what I was doing. They didn't know why it was important. So from that perspective, they only have half the story. Their opinion's not going to mean much in that sense, and I'm not going to let it hold me back. But there's other times, I used to watch American Idol with my family growing up. And I remember...
I think we all did.
Yeah, and I remember it's like season 1 to season 10, like the originals. And I remember this guy or woman would walk in for the audition, and they can't sing at all. And it was like horrendous. And the judges say, look, we're trying to do you a favor here, like you should quit and go do something else. And the person gets all offended and says, no, I'm a great singer, like everyone in my family tells me I'm so good. But the thing is, it wasn't in that person's best interest to pursue that career, at least at the time, because they weren't going to be successful at it. And the judges are doing them a favor. So sometimes that advice might be what you need to hear. So also be open to it. So I think that's where I would put it for now.
Awesome, thank you. And it's very similar, guys, as you heard Dr. Jamil says, I put out a few videos where, what do you think about idle opinions? And it refers to Andrew Carnegie. There's actually an audio on YouTube. If you guys just search Andrew Carnegie opinions, it's a very great audio that is about 3.5 minutes long, and very similar to what Dr. Jamil just said, to where, hey, everyone has an opinion. Some people like to give it to you without you asking for it. But again, if you want to pursue something, you have to connect with the people who have the results in life that you want. Because, again, your family, your friends may love you. They don't want to see you get hurt. So they'll give you an opinion that may not necessarily align with what you're trying to do. So if you connect with the person who actually has those results that you want, they can actually help mentor or guide you to do things that you need to develop the habits you need just so you can accomplish greatness. But yeah, again, just take every opinion with a grain of salt. Know that some are, even if they seem negative, they're not, but just have grace and just be accepting of it and just be thankful that someone actually is care enough to actually give you their opinion on what you're pursuing.
Can I add something to that?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and to Greg's point, if you, let's say, have a billionaire sitting next to you, and you tell the billionaire, he says, what do you want to do? What's your goal? And you might say, well, I want to make $100 million so I can serve the world in this way. That billionaire is going to look at you, and let's say that billionaire made it from scratch, and that billionaire is going to say, Greg, good on you, go for it. Like, you can do it. Because he knows it's possible, or she knows it's possible. But when that opinion then is coming from a valid place in the sense that they've experienced the result already, they know you can do it. And other people, let's say you grow up in a minimum wage area or impoverished area, in their mind, you're just trying to get by. And they've seen people, maybe themselves, who they want to be an entrepreneur, and they want to start a business, and they want to make $1 million, and then they failed. So in their mind, it's not worth it, it causes a lot of hardship. They've never done it personally, but when you say you want to make $100 million, they're going to say, Greg, I don't want you to get disappointed. And then they're going to give you the look, and it's like, it's coming from a good place in their heart, but you don't have to buy into that. Because anyone who's growing up, let's say, in a really poor area, who gets out and becomes very successful, a lot of athletes and artists and stuff like that, business people too, they heard that, but they didn't listen to it. And that's the thing. Let in what will serve you and keep out what won't.
Awesome. Thank you for that. Okay, so another question I have for you is, how do you actually either advertise yourself or get the word out there to where people want to connect with you? How do you get yourself out there?
Yeah, so for me, when I was in my second year of medical school, I started making these daily videos that I actually mentioned to you before we started.
Yeah.
And these videos, I made them short, a minute on average, because most people, you give them a 30-minute video, an hour-long video, there's every excuse in the world not to watch it. So if I made a 1-minute video, a 45-second video, you can watch it in the bathroom, you can watch it in the car, there's no reason not to watch it. And I committed to doing that every single day. And at this point, there's about 400 of them. I stopped doing it every day until around 270. Life got a little busier. But the point, I put those out there, people started watching it, people started reaching out. So that was one way that I did it in the beginning. Then referral from current clients, past clients, and then reaching out, connecting with people, engaging with my community, and seeing who can use the help, who's interested and committed to the help, and they want to play. And we do it.
I don't want you guys to use that excuse to not watch this fully in its entirety, so you guys need to watch this entire interview because it's bringing you value.
Absolutely.
The next question I have for you is, do you feel it's important that people need to be educated in a sense to where it could either be formal school or just self-education? Do you feel that people need to just be aware or more educated when it comes to just general life?
One of my mentors, the great Jim Rohn, he had this great quote where he said that formal education will make you a living, but self-education will make you a fortune. So it really comes down to, what are your goals? What are you actually going after? Because if you want to get educated, why? If you just want to have the biggest library in the neighborhood, that's not really going to serve you at all unless you're going to do something with it. If you say, I want to be this in business, I want to be this in medicine, in law, in engineering, in entrepreneurship, whatever it is, are you educating yourself? Are you growing and getting better every day? Because I always tell people, the person who can achieve that goal that you want, you're not it yet. And the reason is you'd already have it. And so if you say, I want to make $100,000 a year, I want to make $1 million a year, and you're currently making 50, it's because you're not yet that person who can do that. Why? Because you haven't educated yourself. You haven't grown into it and become that. And so if you want more, you got to become more.
Awesome. And you guys, I live by quotes, and one of them, the knowledge is power, that's what you hear, but it's only power is if you take action and use that power. Because again, you can read every book in the world and have all the knowledge, but if you just sit there and let it collect dust, it doesn't do you any good or any value. So knowledge is power only if you implement and take action on that power.
Absolutely.
All right. So next question I have for you, Dr. Jamil, is what do people thank you for the most? This is a question that sometimes is like, I've never been asked it before. Someone asked me that question. I said, I like that. I want to add that into my podcast. So what is something that people thank you for the most that you, generally speaking, if you can think about it?
Yeah. It's funny, just thinking I get a little emotional thinking about it. There's, the last 2 weeks, just to keep it recent, I've been truly blessed. And every day, I've had some client that we've had this tremendous breakthrough in their life. And every one of those phone calls ended with me tearing up and them just thanking me. I feel like there's a combination. One, it's the actual safety, the presence, the time. Most people don't feel heard. They don't feel listened to. They don't feel understood. So just giving them that on its own is immensely valuable. But when you throw in this mind shift that I like to think of it like horses that are racing. They have those blinders on so that they can't, I'm assuming the reason is so they can't see the other horses so that they don't get scared or whatever. So they're just going to go straight now. In the same way, my client gets on the phone with me with a relationship problem, a health problem, this mental limitation they've got going on, and they're seeing life in a certain way. So they've got these blinders going. And by just expanding it and showing them, no, you could do this, or why you're doing this, or ask them one question that changes everything, and now they come off that call with not limitation, but with possibility. And they look at me and they just tell me, that literally just changed my life. And then I get this text message the next day, a call a week later saying the action they took, everything changed, massive result, and it just lights me up more than anything else. And so that's breakthroughs. That's what it is. That's what it is.
I love that, because even just by posting these little videos, sometimes blog posts or just inspirational quotes, posting on social media, I have someone reach out to me, hey, I needed that today, thank you. Now you're influencing me to want to do a YouTube channel or to pursue, I want to educate kids. I thank you for providing me that, confidence. So it's like when you get that, someone just thanks you. I know what you mean. It's like, wow, I appreciate.
Yeah, it's a beautiful thing.
Money can't buy that feeling that you get when you just help someone else out, guys.
And when you do help someone else out like that and you get paid, it's the greatest feeling in the world.
Yeah, because like the best of both worlds.
I remember the first time I ever got paid by a client, and I was so afraid to charge. I was early in my business, and I got this check in the mail like a week or two after our session small amount, but it was so, I cried. It was just, I'd never gotten paid for something that I did just from my heart, that I love so much, that I would do for free, that I did it for free for 12 years. And,
Wow.
and so I coached for free for 12 years, and then I started charging, but even in that year, I only charged like 20% of the time. And so that first check meant so much. So when you find what you love to do, I think it was Mark Cuban, the billionaire owner of the Dallas Mavericks, and he said, the secret is, find out what you love to do and get paid doing it.
Exactly, because like when you said you kind of felt bad when you got that check, or you didn't want to be, I think that's one of our societal programming, so where it's like, money is bad, or, the love of money is the root of all evil, so when we think about money or wanting to expand it and actually can make more, sometimes our subconscious, that's, that paradigm, it's like, oh, well, maybe I should just be okay or be complacent, where, again, money is not bad. It's like, yeah, if you just love money, think about money, that's it, yeah, that's not good, because then you won't have a balance of your other areas that you need, like relationships and people and actually giving back. But when you make money, then you start to make more, then yeah, the next goal, make some more. Yeah, you want to be able to make more and more money, then you can help more people out, because a lot of rich people are the ones who actually give back and actually open schools and businesses. And a lot of people with like that poor mindset, to where, because I grew up poor myself, like I told you guys, but had like that mindset, that lack, to where you're not really doing anything, just complaining over here. But when you work hard and you actually start to make more, you want to actually give that back. So make money, guys. It's not bad. Just what you do with it. To make sure you do good with it. That's the message here.
Yeah, and there's this quick exercise I'd love to do with everybody watching. I want you to, the first thing that comes to your mind when I say this, rich people. If you're most people, you get flooded with greedy, selfish, jerk, screwed other people to get their way up to the top, cheated people. I promise you that as long as that is your blueprint for what it means to be somebody who's rich financially, you'll never be rich, because people have a need to be congruent with who they believe they are. You don't think you're selfish and greedy and a jerk and screwing people over, so you're not going to get rich. You're going to sabotage any efforts that you could possibly get, because you don't want to become that. So look at your money limitations. Money is not good and money is not bad. Money is neutral. It's a tool.
Exactly.
How are you going to use the tool?
Love it. Thank you for saying that. Okay, and what is one piece of advice you would give the audience, for the people listening today, hearing your message? What is something like a piece of advice that you would give them that, and again, this channel is more inspirational, where I want people to just know that they can achieve whatever their mind can conceive. Like Napoleon Hill said, whatever the mind can conceive and believe, the mind can achieve. So what is some advice that you would give the listeners today that just need that hope to just know that they can do whatever they want to?
Yeah. So I think the first thing, I like to think of it, this idea of a navigation system. You look at on your phone or the car, or whatever it is, and there's 2 points you got to consider. There's where you are right now, and there's where you want to be. Most people, I find, aren't as clear as where they want to go. They're pretty general, pretty vague. I want to be happy, I want to make more money, I want to be rich, I want to be in a great relationship. But what does it look like? If you're not really clear on what you want, you have a vague idea of what you want, you're going to vaguely get the result. You kind of want it, you're going to kind of get the result, right? So first of all, get crystal clear on what you want. I want to make this much money by this date. I want to be in this relationship. No, rather, I'd say you're in a relationship already, and you're going to treat this person this well by this time. You have that goal, and you put a deadline on it. And then more importantly, why do you want it? Because what's going to keep you going? What's going to bring you up? Because persistence, patience, is a prerequisite to success. And we were talking about entrepreneurship earlier. Most entrepreneurs, some of them strike big in that first year, they're doing great. The majority, they're not profitable for several years. And if you don't love what you're doing, you might need to have a job on the side. And then you might need to do your entrepreneurial stuff. That's your main thing, and the entrepreneurial stuff on the side.
Called a side hustle. Some people say side hustle.
Yeah, you go to work, you're 9 to 5, and then you're working 6 to 12.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But if you really want it, you know why you're doing it, you're clear, crystal clear on where you're headed, and you take the action, you're going to get there, and just keep growing, keep learning. We talked about that. Keep improving what you do, because I promise you, if you're not getting better, the other person is. And why are they going to pick you? We live in a world right now where there's that competitive advantage, that if you put yourself in a situation, you position yourself where you're the guy, you're the girl to speak to, because you're that good at what you do. And why are you that good? Because you love it, because your heart's there, because you're passionate about it. So you went all into it. People ask me, like, oh, what's your work-life balance like? Doesn't exist. My work is my life. And that's not like I only work. I love what I do, and I told you, I'm crying on the phone with my clients because it's so heartfelt.
Yeah.
But even when I'm not working, if I'm reading, if I'm hiking, if I'm doing something else, I'm figuring something out that's going to help me with a client, it's going to help me serve other people. It's like I'm so in it. My heart is so fully aligned with it that it's not work, it's just play. And when the rough times come, it's easy to persist because I couldn't see myself doing anything else. And so one piece of advice that I remember one of my mentors told me, we talked about money limitations. Some people say, you know, if you love it, you shouldn't charge for it. And one of my mentors said, I love what I do so much, it's the only thing I'll do for money. And I like that. I thought that was a really cool mind shift. So keep that in mind going forward.
That's great. And then guys, think about it too. Just like I think I heard, Tony Robbins say a quote before, to where like if you gotta have that burning desire, and then just like they burn the ships or burn the bridge, to where your why is so strong and you have that laser focus to where, if, like you said, if something comes up, you're gonna keep going. If you get tired, if you have a bad day or break up a relationship, you're gonna still pursue and persist, not let anything come in front of your dream, because you got to burn the ships and burn the bridge to just keep pursuing that greatness. And also, another thing, as Jamil was saying, think about a ship. When you're going on a cruise or something, they have a compass or navigation system, GPS, that actually guides them to the next destination. They just, hey guys, imagine if you get on the ship and say, hey, let's go on this ship. We don't know where we're going. We're just gonna see what happens. Would you want to get on that ship, or the one that says, okay, we have a precise blueprint in the way to where we're going to get to where we need to be? That's why I tell you guys, you need to have a blueprint to where daily habits, then you have your big goal, and then you break it down to pieces like monthly, weekly, daily habits, to where those little pieces will add up to that big puzzle. Like a big puzzle, you just put it together instead of looking at the big picture, because some people get overwhelmed, like, I want to be a millionaire. No, that's too hard, I can't do it. Look at the top step that's 20 miles away, versus looking at the one in front of you. Just get on that next step. Just look at the one in front of you. Then eventually you're going to get there. So that's a good.
I have this exercise that I do with my clients. I call it the map of success. And it's to your point. You just pretty much hit the nail on the head. Imagine this kind of cross, like the 4 boxes. Top left, that was an interesting way to represent it. You have this, the 4 boxes on the top left, it says your 3-year vision. This is, what is this vision you have for your life 3 years from now, your finances, your relationship, your health, all these different things in your life. What do you want it to look like? And then on the top right, it's your 1-year goal, 12 months. So you basically take that vision, divide it by 3, and this is where you want to be, where you're on track to hitting that. And then you do it again in the bottom left, it's your 90-day project. So now you're going to take your year, break it up into 4 quarters, and you're only focusing on 3 months now. So the vision doesn't matter anymore, in the sense that if you handle the 90-day project, the vision will come. And then you break it down in the bottom right, and it's weekly actions. So now when you know, okay, this is what I have to do this week. These are the 3 to 5 things that have to get done. And if I do this every week, my 90 days will be completed, which just by default means my year will be completed, which means my vision's going to happen. So you don't have to think about, as you were saying, 20 miles away. You focus on the next step right in front of you, but you have to know where you're going first, otherwise you're not going to be in the right direction.
Kind of reminds me of the movie Field of Dreams. Like, if you build it, they will come. Just kind of think about that, guys. You have your blueprint. If you work on it, then everything will come to you. Like the law of attraction, the universe will put it in front of you, because you're on that same frequency and vibration that you need to be to attract whatever you need and want in your life. Mm-hmm. Last question I have for you is, I know you mentioned it throughout the video, but how can people get a hold of you if they really want to connect with you and see what you have to offer?
Thank you so much, man. So my primary website is just my name, JamilSayagh.com. We'll have the link below. And then Instagram is at Dr Jamil Sayegh. And then my Facebook is Jamil Sayegh Coaching. On there, there's about 400 videos, pieces of content, blog posts, inspiring quotes and pictures that most of them are original. And it's been a beautiful adventure ride. I'd love to offer that to you. The ebook will have the link, 20 Steps to Your Next Breakthrough. And if you're interested in a complimentary coaching session, there's a form on there, some client testimonials, and we'll see if we're a good fit.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for your time. It was nice chatting with you. And guys, I'm going to have those links, so no excuse. You got to get that free coaching session, and then so you can manifest your greatness, and then you can actually, each one teach one. So once you get to where you need to be, you can help someone pull that person back up. So, well, guys, great for planning Green Zen. Hope you have a great night, and we'll see you later.
Take care.